Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is a quick video on how to make a welt pocket. Very easy. The easy way to make a welt pocket. So these are the things I'll be using. So these two parts I'm adding the gum stem to it. This is a normal gum stem, normal pepper gum. Some people call it the pepper gum or a gum stem. So this gum stem has three different types. You have the very light one, the thick ones, and the very thick ones. So the one I'm using here is like the medium, the one in between, not very light and not very thick. So this is the fabric where I'll be doing the welt pocket. So first of all, I'm going to add a dart to it. Right here. So now this the dart, and is measured 3.5 inches. Okay, so it's measured 3.5 inches, and then it is going to serve as the center of the welt pocket. You understand? So what that means is that I'm going to divide the measurements of my welt pocket to be in between. You understand? So this size, the length of the welt pocket is going to be 5 inches. Okay, so 5 inches, but then I'm going to divide it in between this welt pocket, in between the darts rather. Alright, so now for people that will be wondering why I'm using 5 inches, 5 inches is like the universal size for someone between the waist of 30 to around, even lower, between the waist of 28 till around 36, 37. So if your hips is somewhere around, if your waist is somewhere around 40 and above, which also indicates that your hip is going to be bigger, then your welt pocket will be somewhere around 5.5 to 6 inches, but then 6 inches is the maximum. Now you notice that I have extra 1.5 inches. Alright, what I'm trying to say is that if your welt pocket is meant to be 5 inches, then these materials that you're using to do the welt pocket should be bigger than 5 inches, at least extra 3 inches. So what I have here is about 7 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to mark 1/4 inch. Alright, so the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a tutorial video, right? So if I'm the one that is sewing it directly, I don't need to make this straight line. Okay, so but the purpose of easy learning and understanding, that's why I'm marking 1/4 inches. Now why am I marking 1/4 inches? The total of the inches for this welt pocket is supposed to be 1/2 inch. Alright, so I'm marking quarter because one part, these two pieces of materials now represent the down part and the upper side of the welt pocket. Alright, so both of them put together will now give me 1/2 inches. You understand? So let's say you're creating a different design. If you're doing a different design that is maybe up to 1 inches, then half, this down part will be half and the other part will be half, making it a total of 1 inches. You understand? So this is how we are placing it. But now this is how you are going to place it and run thread on it. Okay, so now you can see that now that I put it together, it is giving me a total of 1/2 inches, like I said earlier. Okay, so now we are going to the machine. Okay, so this is the mark that I gave here. This part is the down part. For the purpose of this video, we are just going to name it the down part and the upper side. You understand? So I'm stitching the part that I added the gum to. You understand? So that straight line, which is the 1/4 inches, that's what I'm going to stitch from the beginning point that I marked to the ending point. That's a total of 5 inches, remember? So this is the down part, and once I'm done with this down part, I'm flipping it over like you saw me do now, and then this part now is the upper side. Remember the down part and the upside. Now this upside, I'm also going to do the same thing, stitch the 1/4 inch that I measured already. Okay, so make sure that your line, your stitches are very straight and does not go beyond the other one. You understand? Both of them are supposed to be on equal line and straight, because if it goes beyond, it affects the total outcome of how the welt pocket is going to look. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to explain here. Both of them are straight and equal. Where they ended are the same. You can see where they ended. Hope you can see that. Both of them ended at the same point. Yeah, so this part is one of the major reasons why most people make mistakes in welt pockets. It has to be very straight. it has to be very straight and equal. The down part should be equal with the upper side. So now we are going to cut it open. Okay, like you can see me do here. Okay, sorry, so I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Now when we get to this point, we are going to make a notch here that is not going to go beyond our stitches. Remember, it is not going to go beyond this. Our cutting is not going beyond exactly at the point where we started the stitch. That's where the notch is going to end. Okay, so we are going to do the same for this other side as well. Make a notch here that stops exactly where we started the stitch. Remember, it doesn't go beyond. This is like the most important aspect of making a welt pocket. Do you understand? Some people call it inner pocket as well. Now remember, the first one is the upper side. So this is the upper side. I'm going to fold it inside. And then this is the downside. I'm also going to turn it over to the inside. Now remember that all this that we did was at the front of the trouser, or wherever you are putting the inner pocket, you are doing it at the front. So once we cut it open like this, we now move it to the back. Now this one, which is the upper side, I'm going to fold it, double fold it and stitch it. Yeah, so I hope you are seeing what I mean. I'll double fold it and then run a stitch on it. Remember, this is the upside. Okay. Now once we are done with this side, we go over to the downside. The downside is a little tricky, but not impossible to learn, or not even hard. Okay, so if you pay attention, you understand what I'm going to do here at the downside. So hope you can see the level we are at now. Now the downside, you are going to fold the exact inches, the total inches that you join together. So this is half inches. Remember that it has to be half inches because quarter plus quarter is half. The same calculation that we did earlier, remember. So what I'm folding is half inch, which is what I'm supposed to get when you join quarter and quarter together to give me half. Now see what I'm going to do here. I'm flipping this material over to this other side to run a stitch on this point. Do you understand? So remember, this is the downside. Let me do it again. This is the downside. You fold it this way, then run a stitch at this point. Do you understand now? Yeah, so we are going to do that quickly. So back to what I was saying. If the total, maybe you want your inner pockets to be up to 1 inches, the boldness to be 1 inches. That means that the mark that you're stitching is going to be half inches. And it means also that at this point that you're folding, you're going to fold 1 inches. Do you understand? Because if you fold anything below that, it is not going to cover it up well. Okay, so look at what I mean here. You can see how it is looking now. At this point, it is about 60-70% complete. Do you understand? So right here now, I'm going to push this notch inside and then run a stitch on top of it. Very easy. You understand? You can see it there. Push it inside and then run a stitch on top of it. You understand? The same thing is what we are going to do on the other side. And then our pocket is complete. Do you understand? So I hope you can see how neat this part is looking. Now this is the reason why when you are stitching, both of them has to start at the same point and end at the same point, because if you go beyond, it is not going to give you this neat finishing when you are running this stitch. You understand? So you can see that the edges are all equal because our stitches were equal. You understand? So hope you can see how it looks like now. Okay, yeah, so this is the upside and this is how it looks from behind. So now the next thing we are going to do is to add our pockets. You understand? Okay, so this is how it looks from behind, and this material is what I'll be using to do the pockets. Alright, so this is the part that is going to be containing things when you put something inside. You understand? So see how I'm joining it now. Now I'm joining it to that downside. You understand? I'm joining it to the downside like this. Run a straight stitch on it and then fold it. this part is easy. Okay, so once you have done the part of forming the inner pocket, this part is way easy. You understand? So now I'm going to fold it this way and then run a stitch on it, make it lap very well. You understand? Yeah, so at this point now, we've successfully attached this white material to it. So now you are going to see that I'm folding it behind. All right. You can easily pause and go backward so that you understand what I'm trying to explain. So at this point is where you determine the depth of the pocket. You understand? So I usually do 7 inches. So here you measure how deep you want the pocket to be, and then once you get to the exact measurement of your choice, then you run a stitch straight on this side, and you also do it on the other side as well. So I've always been talking about using your hand to cut your thread. So I know it's not proper, it's not supposed to be done, but I'm already used to it. Alright, so but then I try to stop it, you understand? So I always talk about it on my videos, you understand, so that those that are coming into the fashion business does not learn or get used to using their hand to cut their thread, you understand, because sometimes it can injure you. Yeah, so but then back to what we are doing here. Yeah, now I'm cutting off the extras. Yeah. Don't mind my big head. You can see how it's looking now. Now I'm going to turn it over. Alright, so this pattern that I use here is the simple way that I use to sew this professional welt pocket. Like this way now, you're not going to see the way it was joined. You understand? You can see that it's a turnover. I turned it over, so everything is looking professionally made. You understand? So the other way is that you can join it and then you still have to weave, to do a weaving around it. You understand? But this pattern is just the best and makes your clothes look smooth. You understand? So just run your stitch around it, and at this point the work is complete. Alright, so if you watched this video to this point and you learned one or two in this video, I would like you to like, share, subscribe. You understand? That way I'll be motivated to do more. So at this point you can see how the back is looking clean and smooth. So now to close it all up, see how I usually do mine. To close it all up, I'll fold this part in a little and then fold the other part in this way. You understand? And then run my stitch. You understand? And then cut it off. Alright, so thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Like I said earlier, you can see how smooth it's looking now. This is the total, the finishing, the last part, looking very clean and professionally made. Alright, so if you be trying this, then you let me know in the comment section. Drop a comment and also tell me where you're watching from. Alright, thank you.